got a brilliant thing to start off with. We're back at it on the All Blacks, and this will kick off the last 4 weeks of probably rugby union for a few months before Super Rugby kicks off, unless we briefly cover what's going on in Europe, which I don't know if we'll be doing that a whole bunch, but the All Blacks kick off their Grand Slam Northern Tour attempt in Chicago, of all places, against the Irish, a place where we lost to the Irish for the first time ever in 2016, a place where we also beat the United States a couple of years earlier. Our third game, I believe, at Soldier Field. We have played in America since, just not there. We played at Washington, D.C. at the god-awful FedEx Field pitch. And we played at San Diego's new stadium, but also the field. That's one thing I want to say. The field in this game.
Was it San Diego or was it LA's new stadium?
No, it was San Diego.
It was San Diego?
The smaller replacement for the place the Chargers used to play at. I think just the university plays there. But the pitch was awful as the All Blacks.
It looked bad.
overcame a slow start to get the win over the Irish 26-13. A couple of interesting and controversial footnotes of here. Controversial red card to Tug Burn, which I will say I wasn't expecting it to be a red. A yellow card, sure. I know there was a lot of mitigating factors at play with there being a forward pass apparently involved and an offside potentially involved. Bowden Barrett, who was the recipient of the high tackle, it was basically an American football style tackle, which was ironic.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Soldier Field kind of just going into your man. But he said that he wants to do as much as possible so Targ doesn't get actually suspended or banned, because it felt like a bit of an overreaction. I think some people pointing out if the rules, if you look into the law, it does make sense, but I think it's just one of those calls where you kind of scratch your head a little bit.
I still even think by rugby law, there's still mitigating factors there.
Oh yeah.
Yes, to be fair, Tug Burn was offside. I saw somebody in the comments section trying to say that Bowden Barrett was offside. I was like, that's not how it works.
No.
Forward pass, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, but Tug Burn was offside, so you could have called the offside.
Yeah.
But at the same time, red card? No.
Nah.
I also think that when you look at it when you look at the slow-mo, does he actually go shoulder to head?
I think you can see it. I'm pretty sure.
Because I have to look back at it. I'm not sure if that was exactly head to shoulder, but I think there's enough mitigating factors.
I don't think we would have given it a
law.
red if it wasn't in slow motion.
I guess, but
you'd hope so.
I did look at it. I did have to look at it quite closely to be like, is that where the contact is? Because it felt like that Tug Burn went chest on chest to me when I first looked at it.
No, when I first saw it, I thought it was a little bit like, why are they looking at this? And then I looked at it again. I was like, okay, that is a high tackle. But after that,
I mean, with that being said, they get a red card. And then they go and score a penalty and a try anyway.
Yeah, I want to say, I think I saw some people trying to say that red card killed their prospects of winning the game.
No.
You guys were in charge.
No.
For most of it, the All Blacks started off very slow. That first half was one of the worst first halves of rugby I've ever seen. International rugby, I should say. But the All Blacks thankfully managed to come through, thanks in parts to the bench, thanks in parts to players who played most of the game.
Yeah.
Not as obvious as usual, but Cam Roigard, again, the man at 9. No one needs to say anything else. Other players in other positions, you could argue that Caleb Clark had a very good game, showing all of the non-try scoring attributes that he possesses, which is brilliant for a wing. And I think even better for him was that the player that a lot of people thought was going to be battling for his left wing spot has probably just now distracted everyone with a performance in midfield. Scott and Geordie Barrett both coming off of injuries early on. That saw Josh Lord into the fray pretty early, and also a man by the name of Lester Whainau-Nuku. And he partnered Quintu Paia in midfield for the majority of the game. And, well, it looked pretty good. It looked...
I was about to say, there will be people that will go out and be like, oh my God, that was like the best they've ever seen. Calm down. It was good.
It was very good, and I think it warrants the fact, and with Geordie probably being out for the next test, it warrants a starting opportunity for Leicester, I think. What I assume will be outside centre. I'm guessing that's where he was. I don't think he was playing inside.
Not when Geordie came off.
No, but I think we will see that midfield combo ran again.
I think you're going to have to.
Unless they decide to give Rico Ioane another shot against Scotland, we'll see. Because I don't see any reason to drop any of the wings. In the form of Caleb Clark or Leroy Carter, who didn't score, but he still offered quite a bit.
Yep.
He was good. We was a little bit slow in the high ball at first, but we came right in the end.
Yeah.
Caleb, Will Jordan, even Leroy for a little bit. I want to say discipline-wise and at the breakdown, it was not great for that first half. It felt like every time we got the ball, we lost it, but then we got on top of it in the second half.
Yeah.
And I think discipline, I don't recall seeing any really stupid moments, stupid things, which was good. I wouldn't say this Irish team is like one of those like top cusp teams in the world at the moment. They definitely were in all-win mode in 2023. Didn't really prepare for a life without all of those players, and they haven't really settled on a lot of long-term players yet. So this is an Irish team, and I guess you'd say
they're in the transition phase of their own, which a lot of people, including myself to an extent, would say the All Blacks are in at the moment.
I think we're in a transitional phase until we win the World Cup. Honestly, I don't think
fair.
I don't think anyone's
for the standards we hold the All Blacks to in this country. Yes,
but also the transition we're in is not as, I think, blatant as Ireland's, where they probably had a dozen players over the age of 32.
Yeah. Oh, no. When I looked up these ages, I was like, Gibson Park is, I think, 32, 33. Van der Flair is 32.
Bundyaki's 35.
James Lowe, I think, is 33.
I mean, England did win in 2003 with Dad's Army, but I think the game's changed quite a bit since.
Never heard them be called Dad's Army.
They were famously known as Dad's Army in 2003 because I think all the players, like Martin Johnson would have been quite old.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wilkinson, probably one of the youngest players on that team. But no, I think first half wasn't great, but the second half coming through, a lot of players coming off the bench really impressing. Wallace Satiti coming off the bench was really good. I guess you'd say probably his best All Blacks performance of the year so far.
Yep.
He came on for Simon Parker, so I assumed he played at 6 the whole time.
He did.
And looked quite good. Is that going to see Satiti trusted at 6 again in the All Blacks? Who knows? Maybe with Parker at 8, maybe because they will want a tall loose forward in that loose forward trio. Unfortunately, the Satiti, Savia, Lakai starting trio, I think, has an average height of about 6'1", 6'2", which is tall, but in the modern day, you have one guy who's at least 6'4" in there.
Yeah.
So you'd maybe, but I don't think Peter Lakai was too bad at all. I think he was very good.
Yeah.
I think he's always been solid, and like you realised the other day, he's younger than Satiti.
Yeah, by I think it's about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, so it's
something along those lines.
Quite crazy to see his.
No, I think it's a little bit more, but somewhere along those lines.
Yeah. But if Satiti's your guy coming off the bench, that's.
I won't lie to you, and I said this to you before.
It could work.
And I said this to you before we got on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it to the camera. So if the All Blacks coaches ever hear this, do not change the bench.
Yeah.
They played and the reason I say that, and I don't think people realize how positive this is, because I think a lot of people will focus on that first half. The fact that we played excellent second half of the second half is huge for the year that we've had.
Because we haven't really done that.
No.
We haven't played a great last 20.
No.
Like, we haven't scored the most of our points in our last 20. Oh, maybe apart from the first Argentina game. But because that was
even then, it wasn't like this.
No, it was quite good.
Keep the same bench. Keep it. And those guys, we had a lot of injuries. Simon Parker, Satiti came on early. I believe Lester Whanganuku also came on early. Oh my God! Can I just say? And I've been critical of his play, and I thought he played good.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was ever going to be a competition for the wing, to be honest. I think if he's going to be an All Black, he's going to be a centre.
Yeah.
But you allow somebody that powerful to come on in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When everybody's tired and he's fresh. Ooh.
Yeah,
that's rough. So
it's scary. It's very
Keep that
scary.
Bench. Tokiaho, excellent off the bench.
Oh yeah. You'd have to say he's eventually he will. A lot of those players you will want to be starting. Maybe for the rest of the year you keep it, and for next year. But as soon as they can start them, because Cody Taylor is going to be quite a bit on the older side come 2027. I mean, we'll see, though.
Can I just say as well, I've said this a couple of times before. I think Samisoni Taukei'aho needs so much more credit than he gets now, because dude tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Came back, I think within a year as well.
Yeah.
And is pretty much straight back into the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Off of a torn Achilles. That is insane stuff to do. So he needs to be given credit.
Oh, yeah.
That is a hard thing to do. Shout out to Samisoni Taukei'aho. But I'm going to go back to Wallace Satiti, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's got to start. And we need to calm down on this one. I get the hype. I know he was very hyped. He was Breakthrough Player of the Year. But Wallace Satiti is still what I would call a floater. And by floater, I mean when he gets the ball in hand, fantastic. He's a guy that can hit it up hard. He's got skills there, stuff like that. But he's a floater in the sense that he waits for stuff to happen.
Yeah.
And you can't wait for the breakdown. You need to be there when you're a loose forward. You can't wait for the pass 9 times out of 10. You're going to have to go and get that at some point. And that's why I think it's, having Satiti off the bench who can come on that last 20, similar to Lester Whainganuku, and make those power plays is insane. And the reason why Lakai is starting now is because Lakai is an Adi Sabia light.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's the one that's going to do, not saying that Satiti doesn't do any mahi when he comes on, any work, but Peter Lakai is going to do that mahi. He's going to be at the breakdown. He's going to be able to carry when he needs to. He's going to make an impact there. And for the majority of a game, you need that.
Yeah.
You need that there. So, like I said, don't change the bench unless there's injuries.
Unfortunately, I think there will be injuries.
Yeah.
If Simon Parker's out, I could possibly see them. Maybe it depends how they're judging Scotland, who are our next opponents this Sunday at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Will I get up for that? We'll see. Because that's pretty early in the morning.
That's very early for us.
But we possibly will see the first little bit of action of Sam Darry in the All Blacks this year.
Yeah.
As Scott Barrett, he might not be fit. Whether he's starting ahead or behind Josh Lord, who came off, I think he was fine.
Yeah.
In the game against Ireland. We'll see. I think Sam Darry was unfortunate to miss Super Rugby with injury.
Yeah.
If he hadn't missed it, I think he probably would have already played for the All Blacks so far this season, which is crazy to say considering there have been very good performances by Fabian Holland, by Tupou Vai'i, by Scott Barrett, by the other guy.
Let me pause there. Let me pause there for a second. Let me pause there for a second. Fabian Holland.
Yeah.
Work fucking horse.
Well, probably.
Honestly,
should be. Well, think about if you think about Breakthrough Player of the Year. He's nominated.
Oh my god,
he's nominated. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Was there anyone from South Africa who's like brand new? Because Sasha's not new. He played for them last year.
But could you? Oh yeah, very good point.
And I would say I don't know how well he's played in the other games. I know a lot of people were raving about Ethan Hooker, but I think he's only played. I don't think he's played as many games as Fabian.
I could see Ethan Hooker being nominated, but I don't think he's played enough games to win it, personally, for me.
From that South Africa contingent, that's probably who you bring in.
Yep.
Unless I don't think I'm really missing anyone on the forwards.
In Europe?
I don't...
Henry Pollock? England?
Yeah.
Let's be real. That's probably who they're going to give it to.
Yeah, they'll probably give it to Henry Pollock.
Yeah, Henry Pollock.
But has he been starting as much for England, though?
Who else has been starting at 8?
I thought he played at 7 for them.
Very good point, because he got Ben Ellis starting at 8.
But also, was he starting for the Lions? I don't think he was.
No, I don't think it. But there'll be some name. But Fabian Holland's got to be there.
Pollock will be there with Holland. Obviously, our bias would probably give it to Holland. But
yeah, true.
Hey,
he's a workhorse, bro.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
absolutely. And we're glad to have him. So
big facts.
Him, Tupou, Barrett, and Tuipulotu.
Can I just say as well, I've been extremely critical of this guy.
Yeah.
Didn't think Josh Lord played too bad either off the bench.
No.
I have to give credit. I have to give credit there where credit's due. So yeah, keep the same bench if you can.
If you can.
If
without
we're playing
injuries.
our best team, keep the same bench. But I will say I do think, just because I believe Leonard Brown's still out injured.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to play Quinn and Leicester in that in that midfield. We'll see who passes the ball out.
I think they'll give it a shot. I think they'll give it a shot against Scotland. I feel like if it was against England, then maybe we bring someone else in. But against Scotland, they're not a bad team. We shouldn't underestimate them because they are quite good, even if they are,
even though we haven't lost to Murrayfield since 1905.
No. We've never lost at Murrayfield.
Exactly. Oh, that's a very good
That's
point.
just when the first game was.
Crazy.
On the Originals tour.
Look, I hope that carries on, but I do think you'll see that centre combo. I think you'll have to.
Against England, we'll see. It depends how well it goes against Scotland and if Geordie's back or if they want to trust someone else in that role. And then
it'll be interesting to see if Simon Parker's out for the next game, how we adjust the forwards.
Yes.
Does he throw out the Satidi, Savia, Lakai?
It's undersized, but it could work. It depends on what type of pack Scotland are rolling out. Because apart from that, who else is coming in? Jacobson. Is Fino in the team? He is, isn't he?
Yeah, that's another point I'm going to make when we somewhat break down the All Black 15 game after this.
Yeah.
We do have Jacobson and we have Kadhafi.
There's another. Oh, there's Kadhafi, there's Jacobson. Yeah. But there's another guy captaining the All Blacks 15, and we're going to segue over to that now, who played their first game of the year against a very South African-laden Barbarians team. Probably the most and this is no disrespect to South African rugby, the most unfun-looking Barbarians team of all time, because what do you mean? About 80% of the squad is all from one country.
This is true.
Should have just called it South Africa Barbarians, because those teams still exist. But after being 19-0 down at the half, the All Blacks 15 did win 33-19.
It was not. I think it was 19-5.
But I saw 19-0 somewhere.
Same thing. I'm going to double check that.
Caleb Tangito, in-form winger from Super Rugby and great in NPC, scored twice and looked very good alongside his fellow outside backs, Tene Nanai Satoro and Jacob Ratu Maitavuki-Nipkins.
Oh, look at this guy's pronunciation, mate. We were down 19-7 at halftime.
19-7.
Yeah, 19-7.
A very, very, very scary backline, or outside backs for a B team.
Yes.
But very good to see him out. But the captain of this team is Dalton Papali'i. So obviously he's been shown trust in that 15s. And the 15s are seen as a bit of a wider training squad.
Yeah.
On this Northern Tour, because they're all playing their games in the Northern Tour as well. Yeah. Are they playing Europe?
So they're about to play England A, and then they play Uruguay after this. After that, yeah.
In Spain?
Well, let's double check.
I think it's in Spain.
But yeah, so they've. I like how many games they've got actually.
Yeah,
I still wish they played teams like Spain. And,
Spain have got fixtures.
Georgia and stuff like that. But
I think the All Blacks senior team probably needs to make a trip to Georgia at some point. Yeah, I play in Tbilisi because I think it would be great.
I'm trying to look up where this place is. I'm not sure if it's
what's it called?
Uruguay or Spain. It is called the Stade Raoul Barriere.
I can guess it.
Yeah, go for it.
But that's in France.
That is in France.
That's in France.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple of the All Blacks 15 guys, uncapped or capped, feature for the All Blacks on the Northern Tour, because they're going to be Northern. Dalton Papali'i would be my first flanker off the cab, because I think he could, obviously they will probably want to try Luke Jacobson first or someone else, or Kadhafi first, although again undersized. Jacobson not undersized. You probably have to bench Lakai in that case and have Satiti at 8. It would be the same if you brought in Dalton, unless you tried Dalton at 6, because he has played there quite a bit for counties, or he's played at 8. So
I am. Look, I loved, this All Blacks 15 comeback. It was very good. I loved seeing, guys like Dalton Papali'i still, be that leader and be that guy, which we know he is. Just the All Black staff don't. then, and you see Jacob Ratumaitavuki Neepkins and Caleb Tangito both were Blues guys, Auckland guys now, Highlanders guys, showing that off. And can I just say, if the Highlanders have a good season for the Highlanders, I think you have to look at those a lot of those guys. Also, good to see Etene Nanae Saturu play great.
And he's back with the Chiefs next year. We all thought he was going overseas, but he's remaining. So maybe they know something we don't because they've signed KT and, why do they need all their wingers?
It's going to be interesting to see how that Chiefs line up. But, I don't think I can go out there and say, barring injury, that there'll be any of these guys featuring for the All Blacks.
I think there'll be one. And I think it'll happen against Wales.
I'm not sure.
I think against Wales because I think they know how good he's been and they know how good he could be. I think against Wales in the final test of the Northern Tour, where you're playing the worst Welsh team in years, I think you give an opportunity out to one of the men you just mentioned. In Caleb Tangito.
I'm sure that happens.
I'm sensing a start. I'm
not sure that happens.
I'm sensing a start on the right against Wales, whether it's injury laden or not. Leroy Carter's currently the incumbent 14, but Tangito, had been playing 14 for the Highlanders. I think he's the next player.
Did he play 14 or 11?
He played 14 for the Highlanders.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Although he's not that typical 14 mold for the All
he's
Blacks,
not.
but neither is Leroy Carter. So
Fair.
we have to. That's not, I think, a set thing.
The thing is with the All Blacks now, though, you already have that balance with Caleb Clark, who can take a high ball, and Leroy Carter, who's more the speed, agility guy, and Caleb Clark brings the power. So you have the balance there. It almost doesn't matter, to be honest.
But I'd be very unsurprised to see Tangito given a shot against Wales, whether it's injury brought in or not. I think most people would rather see him instead of Sevu Reece, unfortunately.
Fair.
That's it for the rugby, like we said.
Yeah, man.
Well, Scotland this Sunday at 4:10, and then the England 15 game for the All Blacks 15. Sunday at 2:15.
Yes, sir.